Hi everyone, welcome back to the 10-minute sprint. I'm Greydy Diaz.
And I'm Boss Rozendaal, aka The Mountain. And Greydy, we had ourselves a day yesterday. I have to start by bringing up the elephant in the room. USA men and women 0-4 after day 2 of action. That's crazy. I didn't expect that at all, but let me get your highlight of this day.
First of all, I didn't expect that either, but my highlight of the day was China beating Serbia. I don't think any of us had that in our predictors, so what a moment for them.
Yeah, and look, an upset for me as well. Azerbaijan taking care of USA behind Tiffany Hayes' huge game. I looked in the crowd as well, and I saw my buddy Jesper Jobsen, my former teammate, the job, sitting courtside. I was happy to see him out there at Place de la Concorde. And I gotta talk about the high level of the tournament. The amount of upsets, the amount of close games, it just reminds me of the best teams in the world out there at the Paris Olympics competing to try to get that gold medal. It was just incredible. But look, we gotta talk about the other things that we are gonna have on today. We have new guests. Well, we're gonna argue about our player of the day, obviously, right? And you know, one thing we're not gonna argue about is who's the best free throw shooter among us. Once again, I happen to lose. Talk about your nickname here, please.
Listen, they call me mid-range mommy. You know I got a jumper, and you know I haven't lost yet.
You have not lost yet, so that means I have to sneak 3 words into the next segment. So Greydy, which 3 words do you have for me today?
So your 3 words today are Nas, guitar, and glitter. Good luck.
I'm working on those. How about you get the game summary started with the first game so I got some time to think.
Okay, cool. Our first battle between Australia and Germany resulted in a 21-19 win for the Aussies. Alex Wilson hit the game-winning 2, but we have to tip our hats to Sunny G, who was in her bag.
Look, for the next game, we had Canada against China. Canada came out strong, or sharper than the Master Sword, I have to say. Crozon lit up the Place de la Concorde with 2 big shots to start the game, to set the tone. China got 5 points out of Mingling Chen, but it wasn't enough because the Canadians were, and let me get this, more crisp than Nas' lyrics.
Ooh, I like what you did there. Yes. And in the next game, which was very physical, Batman led Latvia in a 21-12 win against the Netherlands. Worthy was the star for the Dutch with 7 points. What hurt them most was being out-rebounded 13-21.
You know what I think hurt them the most, though? I think Carlos Los Manes throwing up Dimeo van der Horst's signature guitar move is what hurt the Dutch the most. Yeah, there you go. All right, so I got the next game, and this was a huge upset, right? It was Serbia losing to China. China, made it a shootout contest. Ning Zhang had 11 points. He was incredible. China hit half of their shots from long range, and what we saw was Mihailo Vasic for Serbia coming out with a lot of bandages, and we got word that he broke his nose. That might have been a factor in them having no energy today. They took a loss. China take the win.
And in the next game, Spain beat France 17-12. Igueravide and Jimeno combined for 16 points. For the French, no one scored more than 3 points, which turned out to be a very big problem.
Look, we had Azerbaijan taking on the USA. Tiffany Hayes went off like a glitter grenade. I had to get that one in. Look, she had a huge 5-5 with 11 points, 7 rebounds, 8 highlights, and a game-winning layup. At the end, it was tied 17-17, 12 seconds on the clock. Tiffany Hayes got the rock, went right, went left, all by herself, open layup, game Azerbaijan. That was big.
Man, Tiffany's game is so cold. Oh. I love to watch her hoop.
Yes.
And with just seconds left, France beat Lithuania off of a layup from Vergiat. He and Rambeau combined for a solid 17 points. What an exciting game.
Yeah, and we closed the day with another one of those upsets. Poland, bigger, more physical than Team USA. We saw Jimmer go out of the game with a little bit of a groin injury, it seemed. He did hop back in there, but he didn't do too well. Poland got a huge roar from the polar bear, though. 7 points, 5 boards for the big fella. Even the southpaw spike, he yammed it on somebody.
Oh, yeah. and results. So once again today we had 8 games, which were won before the game limit, and the game was just so fast.
Yeah, and a lot of these games were decided by 1 basket or less. Take a look at the results here. It was just incredible. And again, 3 huge upsets in my book, and maybe some others that could be considered an upset. What a day of games from Paris. Grady, what was your favorite one though?
I mean, I know I mentioned this very early on, but that China versus Serbia game, because again, none of us had them winning in our predictor, but if you looked at Serbia's faces, they looked entirely puzzled, like they didn't even know what happened. So what a moment for China. It's just incredible.
Beating the #1 team in the world, that has to be something. Look, you mentioned expert predictor. Let's go on to our expert predictors. You've seen the results now. Among the expert, we had 2 consensus picks, and all of us kind of had a false start on that, right? So we all had Serbia beating China. That didn't work. And then we had USA beating Azerbaijan. That didn't go anywhere either. You see, we were kind of split on a bunch of the other ones, though. Vince in the last one taking Poland, I don't even know how he got that. He must have a crystal ball somewhere, but he had Poland winning. Look, that brings us to the ranking, though, so I'm hesitant to bring this up, but we should. Grady, you're actually in first. Yeah.
I love that for me.
You had 4 wins today, and you're at top of the boards with 9, as is Jordan, so you guys are tied. I'm not too far behind. Me and Vince are at 7. Vince, the big riser from the day, and then Kyle. Yeah. Stuck at 6, but you know.
That's tough.
But you get that early start. There's like a tortoise and hare type of thing going on here.
Right.
I'll consider myself the tortoise there. So yeah, go ahead.
You know, and we've been talking a lot about it in our group chat, and maybe that's why Kyle has been so quiet. I feel like it's been a lot of me, you, and Vince. Jordan, I don't know where she's at, but you know, it's been very quiet for Kyle.
Yeah, and Kyle's usually the one to talk,
right?
A lot. All right, let's move on to the pool standings because we got to see how these teams rank up after 2 days of action. We'll start with the women. Look, Canada going 2-0, huge. They were extremely good. Now they have the tiebreaker over Spain because they have scored more points. Now let me remind you all, tiebreaker first go by result against the other team. That's not a factor just yet. Then it goes by points, and then once we get past points, it goes to the federation ranking going into the tournament. At the bottom of the pack, we see France and USA. I did not expect that. Last year's world champs stuck at 0-2 in the bottom. Like, wow.
Yeah, no, that's a tough place to be. You know, so France and Latvia actually 2-0 on the men's side, and Canada and Spain 2-0 on the women's side.
Yeah, that's a wild.
Not bad. Not a bad start.
Definitely. Look at the standings for the men here. I think we can get a look at that as well. France leading the board with 2 wins, huh?
How did we choose our team of the day?
We go by team of the day because we picked a game of the day yesterday. And then in this one, we picked Spain and France. That was our game of the day today. The winner of that game, you know, obviously Spain. So we're going to talk about them. And we would do it, right? But we've been talking a lot. So to help us out with that, we bring on Andrea Hernan Gomez, who's represented Spain in 3x3 at the under 21 and under 23 level. I've seen her play in some tournaments out in Varon. You probably don't remember this though, Andrea, but it's all right. I was the coach for the Dutch. And yes, she also has 2 brothers playing in the NBA. Andrea, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm great. And after the game at 9 p.m. of Spain, France, I'm even better. So, yeah.
Yeah, so welcome. Tell me a little bit more about what you saw today in Spain's win.
I saw like fierce. I saw a fight from second one. Sandra scored that 3 and it looked like they were in. They were already like going for the game. They were not gonna go without like the win.
Yeah, I agree. They were sharp from the start. I also saw a lot of hustle from all 4 of the players. But we have some audio from the mix zone. So let's get that queued up so we can listen in.
This happened 3 years ago when we played here in the Europe Cup, and we beat them in a semi-final. So we know what it feels like. I think we like it. We like to play against everybody.
Now, Andrea, obviously you know, and you know Sandra very well. Can you talk about the rivalry with France and how special that is for that team?
I mean, everyone knows that everyone that follows like 3x3 knows that France practice every single like day, months and everything, they focus on 3x3 because they want to win. So for us, that we have a summer to get like this summer to get ready for the Olympics, it was amazing. Like to feel the happiness of winning against a team that's preparing for them like much amount of time. It's just crazy. It feels good.
No, that's incredible. And Spain faces China and USA tomorrow. What would you tell the team to focus on to continue this win streak?
I would just say to keep playing what the things that they're doing that is working. I mean, they all have a thing that they have to focus on. Sandra has like the scoring, Vega like the fight, Gracia like the defense, Juana has the scoring too. Like it's like every single one makes the team better. So they have to focus on keeping that thing up.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you for coming on. We might get to talking to you later on the week. We'll see though, but thanks for being on the show. Appreciate the words.
Thank you so much. Congratulations, guys. You're doing amazing.
Thank you.
All right, for our next segment, we've talked about the teams that have done well, right? Our team of the day. Now we want to go into a team that we might just be a little bit worried about, right?
Yeah, USA. All right, so little bit worried about USA on the men's and women's side. Neither have won a game in the last 2 days.
Yeah, they're looking sluggish. And again, we can discuss this, but we'd like to bring on some people. So let's get on Huffman, Huff Amazing, Damon Huffman, a World Cup winner in 2019. You like that nickname, don't you, Damon?
I mean, I have a lot of nicknames, but I think that's just because I've played so long that you have enough time to come up with more every year.
Yeah, you're right. Look, Damon plays for a team Princeton, has played for Team USA in the past. Again, a 2019 World Cup winner in my hometown, Amsterdam. Greydy, you had a first question for him, right?
Of course, yeah. My first question is, how worried should we be right now with Team USA women and men?
Well, I think sports allow you to have ups and downs, and the test of a real team is when you get knocked down, how do you get back up? I think there's a lot of games left. You know, first couple days, maybe the nerves are there. I think they'll settle in. I think everyone also gives USA the best game, and Poland was making shots, Azerbaijan was making shots, and I could really tell that, you know, those teams are ready and really excited to beat the US. I think we'll bounce back.
All right. Well, thanks for that. Let me check in. Do we have audio from the mix zone?
You know, Poland's a good team. We struggle obviously to guard the big inside, and they made ones, and the counter to that is making twos. And tonight we weren't able to hit, but we ran some good stuff. We got to take the positives from it. Again, it's a long tournament. If it was easy, everyone would have a gold medal.
So look, Damon, you're known as a very good shooter in the game of 3x3, right? Next to being one of the better defensive players on the perimeter. The shot for Team USA not falling in the tournament whatsoever. What can you say? How can they improve this in the next coming days, especially with two games a day coming up?
Yeah, I think everyone that's watched 3x3 coming into this tournament knows what Jimmer can do on the basketball court. And his ability to shoot from outside and really put pressure on defenses can open up a lot of different options. And I think that's where they need to explore a little bit more. Continue to take the easy ones because teams are guarding you so hard on the perimeter. And then, you know, against Poland, you got to put the big guy in more actions. You know, I think they were going east to west, not north to south. And it's micro adjustments. You know, there's like Canyon said, there's a lot of games left. And so it's what you can do from today until tomorrow to improve. All of these games are going to be close. So little adjustments will make a big deal.
And I have one more question, actually. Ryan Howard, you know, obviously USA women, they haven't played much together. What would you like to see from her, and what do you think is challenging right now for her?
Well, I think the pace of the game is different, right? In 5-on-5, you have the ability to get to the spots that you're more comfortable with, and 3x3 puts you in all of the positions, right? From guarding bigs, guarding guards, catching the ball in the post, having to handle the ball. And so I think for her to kind of get more comfortable, they got to find ways to put her in positions where she's most comfortable, where she likes to attack. And it really starts with the mindset of also being aggressive from the start. You know, you don't have time to settle into a game like in the WNBA where you get 40 minutes. You got 10 minutes to figure it out. And that first possession, you got to be on like it's overtime. Otherwise, the game can slip past you.
Yeah, it's a quick game. Well, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And Boz, enjoy that cheesecake after the show.
Thank you.
How did he know?
All right, look, for our player of the day, let's get past the cheesecake stuff. We want to go into the women's first. You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
You go first.
All right, so look, I had Tiffany Hayes. She had Team USA lost like no Google Maps. She had a 555 with 11, but you like that one, huh? 11 points, 7 rebounds, 8 highlights, a game-winning drive, even though some free throws came after that. She was huge. Out of those 8 highlights, she had 3 blocks underneath the basket on crucial possessions. She's my player of the day for sure. Who do you have?
And for me, I have Alex Wilson. You know, I think Australia really needed that confidence booster of a win after losing yesterday. And talk about taking a 2 for the team. She won off of a game winner, which was a 2 beyond the arc. And that was just beautiful to see. And she also finished with 8 points.
Yeah, she got a lot of extra possessions for her team as well with rebounds. She was scrappy. I like that pick. Now, let's move on over to the men's side. Again, you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay. I want to give and attest to, I think, an unsung hero. So, to me, there's a lot of players that can score a lot of points. They are very much needed on a 3x3 court, but there's some players that change the game by being physical, by playing defense, by being athletic. I want to highlight Zigmars Raimo for Latvia, who beat my Dutchies pretty badly, I have to say. He had 3 points, but he had 8 rebounds, and he set the tone for the Latvians with his physicality, again, his athleticism, and he made life so tough on the Dutch squad. So I want to give him player of the day.
I love that one. And I have Ning Zhang. You know, he had 11 points on what I believe was the biggest upset of this tournament. Who had China beating Serbia? Like, let's be really honest. And he also had 4 rebounds, 4 highlights, and finished with a 14.4 p-val. Just pretty impressive.
Yeah, we're all sad we don't have him on our fantasy
Right?
squad. I know that for sure. So yeah, Ning Zhang scoring from all levels of the court. He was incredible. Now, let's go into the top scorers of today's action and total in the tournament. Look at the women first. I'll take the women, you take the men. So if we look into the women, we see Tiffany Hayes atop the board, 21 points after that 11-point outburst against the United States. Then second and third tied 2 sisters, as well as Mingling Cheng, who had 5 points today. So the Plouffe sisters and Chen all at 15 points. Let's see what tomorrow brings for them. We'll see. This is the board so far. Who do you have on the men's side?
Ooh, Ning Zhang, 18 total, 11 for today. Super impressive win for China. Worthy is at 16 total with 7 points today against Latvia. And he's tied for third. And tied for third are Las Manas and Pukelis. Yeah,
Las Manas and Pukelis scoring 8 and 7 today in their games. But look, we got to get to the most important game. Well, second most important game of all, I think. Before the tournament, Greydy and I joined a super competitive expert fantasy league with 3 other experts. Let's be honest here. Let me do that in quotation marks. Because Greydy, can you remind me what the rankings say? You can see it in the back here.
All right, so after 2 days, we are indeed top 2 in this league, thank goodness. Boss remains in first place, but ain't no mountain high enough. You already know that.
Oh, there we go. Look, I had a bit of a slow day. I gotta say, none of my players really popped on the player value, which is the metric we use to determine this, right? And for those of you that don't know, player value is an adage of all the important stats in 3x3, points, rebounds, key assists, shooting percentage. If you want to know more, go to the website, FIBA3x3.com. You can check out all the stats there. And now let's get a look at what happened in Paris. EC, sit right.
All right, so every day we will call a member of our team who will bring us behind the scenes in Paris. And today we have FIBA3x3 reporter Tristan Lavalette. Tristan, how are you?
You're very well. Thanks for having me on the show.
Absolutely, thank you for being here. Can you tell us a little bit more about the vibe and what's going on? How are you feeling there and how are the fans doing?
It is absolutely unbelievable. Unfortunately, my hearing is going deaf. It is so loud. The crowds are absolutely packed. It's about the venue holds about 5,000 people, and it's every match has been almost packed. There's a bit of a crowd even outside watching, usually about 100 people. So it's unbelievable atmosphere. I mean, the 3x3 community's been looking forward to this moment for a long time. Of course, the Tokyo Games, of course, didn't have fans due to the COVID pandemic, but this moment has certainly been worth it. It's just unbelievable atmosphere. The crowd are getting so into it, especially the French fans. Every time France play, it's just absolutely electric. It feels like being in a nightclub. Your whole body is just shaking, and they do a really good job actually here. They whip the crowd into a frenzy. Actually, the French fans with some famous French songs. Don't quote me on what the songs are. I'm not a French music expert, but it certainly gets the crowd going. So it's just unbelievable fun. So it's an honor to be here.
Awesome. Tristan, let me get your insight, because you're not only a reporter, you also wrote Basketball 2.0, a book on 3x3 basketball, right? Anything you've learned on, leading into the Paris Olympics, the players that are here at the court through writing that book?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I wrote a story on Diaz the other day, just on his journey from when he was a child and he got bullied as a kid. His parents were both deaf, and it's a very emotional story, and it sort of really steeled him to become the player he is, such a clutch player in 3x3, and he's the heart and soul of Latvia, along with Carlos Lesmanis, of course. So, 3x3 just find so many unbelievable stories. That's the beauty of this game, and I'm sure at this tournament we're going to find some new stories, and some legends going to be born here.
All right, so Tristan, and we try to ask this question every day. You are on the floor right there. You can see everything. We can't see everything on television. The fans can't see everything on social media. Only if you're in the stadium, there's certain things you can get there. Anything you've seen that we might have all have missed?
Well, like I said, there's just unbelievable sort of atmosphere in terms of, I'm not sure if you're getting it, but the way they pump up the French crowd just before come out, it's just unbelievable. I'm not sure. We've got to actually find out what songs they're playing. I'm sure one of our producers, Julien Debove, is French. He might be able to help us. But whatever it is absolutely pumping up this whole atmosphere and this whole stadium. I think it's the biggest party in Paris. There's no doubt about it. So it's certainly going to be on my playlist of Spotify, whatever these songs are. I don't know what it is, but I've got to find out.
All right, well, Tristan, thank you so much for hopping on. I'm sure we'll get to talk to you later on in the week as well. Good luck with the reporting out there.
No worries, thanks a lot for having me.
All right, and now to our play of the day. Bass over here has all the answers for us today, and we're looking at a play that has been used today by the reigning world champion Serbia.
Today on Tactics, we'll talk about a play for Team Serbia. It's a double high post setup. They'll use this with a lot of variations. When they needed a bucket most last year at the World Cup, they went with this option. As you just saw, they started with Strahinja Stojic, one of the best drivers in the game, on the top of the key with his defender. Then Dejan Majstorovic set up on the elbow here, defense there as well. Marko Brankovic on the other elbow. He will receive a pass, and Dejan Majstorovic will set up a screen here on the side of the defender for Stojic. Now, the defense thinks Stojic is going to go this way for an open shot. That gives Majstorovic an opportunity to run all the way over here. His defender is stuck in the middle of the paint here, receives a pass, wide open shot, splash ball. The reason this play is so successful is because there is so many variations, and this team has so much offensive firepower that the defense is always guessing on where the action is going to come from, especially in this case with one of the best shooters in the history of the game at 3x3, the Maestro, getting open for some string music.
Boss, I want to get this exclusive. You heard it here first. Is coaching in your future?
I have coached in the past, actually, not well known. I've coached some of the youth teams for the Dutch. Look, this play actually worked for Serbia at the start of the game against China, and I thought that really would get them going, but you know, they ran out of gas at the end of the game here. But I do think for now it's time to start looking ahead instead of back. Let's get to the games tomorrow.
So day 3 game schedule. So let's change gears here. Tomorrow we have a total of 16 games. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
You heard it here right. We're playing from 9 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. What a long day ahead. Every team gets to play 2 games.
Yeah, and on one hand we have undefeated Latvia who will play Serbia and China, so 2 tough games. Spanish women, also undefeated, will play Australia and undefeated Canada. So that might just be a clash of 2 teams that have not lost yet at that point. Poland will also take on Serbia. So it's going to be an interesting day of games for sure. Now let's look at what we have predicted those games to be. You can see the headshots come in, huh?
Yeah, I like your headshot, boss.
Thank you.
Very nice. You can now see all of our predictions for day 3. We have a total of 5 consensus picks from the experts tomorrow. Boss, did you know that all of us think Latvia will win their 2 games tomorrow?
I can see it now, and I believe that because Latvia was actually very, very good today and yesterday. And Grady, I see you and Jordan kind of cheated again. You have the same prediction for all of the games, including the game of the day.
I don't cheat though. All right, so it was especially difficult to choose the game of the day for tomorrow, and we could have picked Serbia, Netherlands, or USA, Latvia, but we went with one of the biggest rivalries in the women's game, France versus Canada.
Yeah, Grady. These 2 teams have been on top of the women's game for years. Canada's been dominating the FIBA3x3 Women's Series, that is the female pro circuit. They won it the last 2 years, both times against France in the final. But on national team competition, France is undefeated in 2 games against the Canadians. In fact, Les Bleus eliminated Canada in the last 2 World Cups, in the final in 2022 and in the quarterfinals last year in Vienna. I had this game circled on my agenda before the games even started. Did it make it to your top 5 tomorrow?
We'll see. So here are my top 5 things to watch on day 3. Ball is life. We have a full day of games. Are you ready?
I am ready.
I'm ready too. Will Boss manage to sleep ahead of Serbia, Netherlands?
I hope so.
I hope you have your coffee ready.
Yeah, I'm gonna need some caffeine for sure with all these games on tomorrow.
The rivalries part 1, Guapo versus the Plouffe sisters. Rivalries part 2, Fredette versus Miezis. Boss, thanks for holding down the fort with me today, and thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like, a comment, subscribe, give us a shout out on social media. This was the 10-Minute Sprint, episode 4. We'll see you tomorrow after the games.
Bye-bye.
Bye.